I'm Shah, and today we are going to discuss about the latest, very hot topic of metaverse. Let me give a quick intro about myself. I am Shahin Shah, and I have 12 plus IT experience. I've been developing multiple applications, software applications using various tools and technologies. Augmented virtual reality is my specialization. I develop mobile, web, desktop applications, and also do a lot of stuff related to automation. I'm also a promoter for low code like Power Platforms. Currently, I'm working for a company called Archidis, and I work as a regional lead for North America. So a lot of problem solving is done, and automation promotions, automation workshops are part of my work. As a part of my hobby, I do a lot of explorations, look at the latest technologies, look at the latest gadgets, devices, and try something experimental on them. I keep in touch with the latest stuff that is happening in the market. So let's go into the agenda today. If you have any questions during the session, you can post those questions in the chat window. We'll take it at the end. I'm not going to entertain the questions in the middle of it, but you can drop the questions in the chat window. And at the end of the session, you can also unmute and ask any questions if you have. We are going to actually see what is the core for the metaverse, like augmented reality, virtual reality, digital twins, metaverse, what, when, why, how, all these things. And also finally looking at the industry use cases, why it is important for each industry. Let's start with a health and safety moment, which is a custom in our industry. So first thing is safety. So as everyone is aware that today Omicron has made a lot of impact in many countries, and especially during the New Year season, I would request people to be at home, be safe, don't mess around for shopping and some events and stuff, because that is going to create a big impact and create next to it. So for some mistake which we do, some others may affect. So better be safe and stay at home. And regarding the news, this is an interesting article which I have got it somewhere in LinkedIn. If you see December 5th, 2000, it says internet may be just a passing fad as millions give up on it. So if you read the article, it says that internet is a kind of passing cloud, or it's just a bubble during that time, and they felt email is not really good. Email is not the right way of communication, and other means of communication are better than email. But then after 21 years, now we know that, wow, this is not real. So the same thing now, if you heard anything about metaverse, if you're hearing anything about digital twins, or if you're hearing anything about virtual environments, all those things, today it may look like a bubble, but then after 10 years or 15 years, you'll see the same kind of poster saying that, okay, metaverse was thought a bubble, but then that was something every day everyone uses. In order to understand what is metaverse, first we need to understand a lot of different terminologies. So for that, I'm going to give some background about different terminologies and also what does that mean. To begin with, augmented reality. And if you are not able to hear me, or if you have any issues looking at the screen, or if you have issues with hearing the audio, I have some video clips as well. And if you have any issues with audio video, then please raise a flag. Someone unmute and say me so that I am aware of it before I just go on to the next slides. I hope everyone can see my screen and also hear me clearly. If there is any issue, you can just unmute and say me. So what is augmented reality? So augmented reality, so far, if you see anything that is happening in digital, it is always behind a screen. Either it's mobile, either it's a laptop, either it's a desktop, either it's tablet, anything is just behind the screen. Have we ever bought things outside of that screen and placed it in a real world. So bringing the digital content as a 3D and making it available on the physical world is called augmented reality. So the example, the GIF which you are seeing here is you are bringing the digital content, the digital human body out of your digital world and placing it in the physical world. Of course, this is possible with a special device today. So the person who is in the pic, that they're wearing a HoloLens. So through a device, either it's smartphone, either it's some augmented reality device, you can bring the digital content and place it on the physical world. That is called augmented reality. So digital to physical world is augmented reality. And here you have holograms, you have avatars, you have 3D objects, all those things which you bring. So difference between earlier and now is that earlier everything is 2D. How much ever you say 3D in the system, it's always 2D. It's just the perceptions of 2D. But then now you can actually bring things into the physical world and have a look at it in real time 3D. That's how that's what augmented reality means. Bringing a digital layer on top of the physical world. So here is an example of a video from Microsoft, which talks about HoloLens and what has been done with HoloLens by the partners, like the partner companies. I'm playing the video. Let me know if you have any issues with the audio. So this is a Microsoft HoloLens. This is a augmented reality device. Basically, you are trying to bring that 3D content or the digital content to the real world, and then you are looking at things in 3D. So this has been widely used by many industries, and this is really helpful as well. Let's look at what is then. Let's look at what is virtual reality as well. So virtual reality is basically you are entering into a virtual world. You're going to be enter into a complete computer generated world. So it's all like a virtual environment, and everything is created through some designers, through some graphics designers and other people, and we enter into it. And that is called virtual reality. So there is a difference between augmented reality and virtual reality. In virtual reality, you go and immerse inside a virtual environment, whereas augmented reality is other way around. You bring that digital content to physical world. So here, the physical people go into the digital world, whereas augmented reality is you're bringing the digital content to the physical world. And here also you need a special devices. Either it's a Google Cardboard, or it can be Oculus, or HTC Vive, or mixed reality devices. There are many number of devices that are coming up in the market. These devices are really powerful and helpful in getting things ready for augmented and virtual reality. So some devices, names of some devices are Microsoft HoloLens, Oculus, and HTC Vive. And also Apple is working on their own device. Google failed with a device called Google Glasses, but then Google is also working on augmented reality operating system, and also Google is secretly working on a augmented reality device. So every major tech company is working on augmented virtual reality. So now, what is the outcomes of this augmented virtual reality? So let's another important example why you should understand what virtual reality is. For example, if you are a painter, so there is a limitation for a painter. So if someone can guess, the limitation is always 2D. How much ever he can think of in his imagination or in his mind in 3D, but when he needs to represent it, he can only represent it in a 2D way or in a creative, some limited version of 3D in 2D. But then that limitation of always drawing it in 2D can be removed with the help of virtual reality. So Google has developed something called Tilt Brush. This will give you how the creators, how the artists can draw it things in 3D. So for example, you want to start a boutique. How can you start a boutique in a virtual environment? So it should be all 3D. It should be all, you have to have an environment and all those things. So those kind of outputs are possible with the help of virtual reality. So you want to do something in a virtual world, which may be representing your physical world or which may be something imaginary. So those kind of possibilities are possible with the help of augmented and virtual reality. Now let's look at a topic called digital twin. I'm wondering why this is not playing. Okay, so this is a GIF which explains what the digital twin is. So there is a physical object, and then you create a digital clone of it. So here you see that there is a physical object, and then a digital clone of the object is created. And then it's not just the digital clone of it. It also has the functionality. It also has the data. It also can showcase the monitoring. For example, if you are seeing some dashboards in that, it can also showcase the functionality, data, what else the live and all the different things. So this is called digital twin. So now where is the world going is towards creating digital twins of the physical assets. Now let's say I am Shah, and I can have a digital twin. And then, for example, if I ask directly me, how many times I had heart rate more than 150, I don't know the answer because I don't track my data. And then, for example, I wanted to see that is there any health related issues, or is there any other financial related data and everything. Do I have a track of it? Not really, maybe through some apps or something. But then if I have a digital twin of myself, let's say I have a digital twin of myself, and then all the data, all the functionality and all the stuff is stored in that digital twin. It shows my live data. For example, live data like what is my heart rate, and what is my movement, and what is my current financial status. So that live data is with your digital twins. And then historical data. So there are multiple aspects of digital twin. Some of the aspects which we really need to understand is live data that is coming from the physical twin or physical thing, and then historical data, because you have been storing everything which is coming live. So you have the historical data of it, and you can do analytics. So the best part is, you can, if you want to take some decision making or if you want to do some analysis, you have this live and historical data, so you get a lot of analytics out of it. And predictions, because this AI and ML has been advanced so much. So now what you can do is, you do based on the historical data. For example, you have an electric bulb, and then that electric bulb is having a digital twin, and it knows the performance and how the voltage is coming and everything, and it knows the performance. So when this bulb will die, when this bulb, what it can handle. So those kind of predictions, it's not about just bulb. You need to think in enterprise, you need to think in industry oriented. There is a oil and gas industry, there is a water purification industry, there is a bridge related or infrastructure related industry. There are a lot of different places where you need to see prediction for maintenance, prediction for replacing, prediction for renewals. So those kind of decision makings will be possible when you have a digital twin. And simulations. So simulations, like if you have seen the old video, you have your aeroplane, and you have a digital twin for your aeroplane, or you have your Volvo or BMW car, and then they don't want to do the experimentations directly on the car. So you are going at a speed of 150 miles per hour, and if you hit a wall or a truck at some angle, will the airbags come out, or will how much the damage happens to car? Earlier they used to do it in a physical way, but then now you can do everything in a digital way, and then you can do all the simulations. And how is this possible? This is possible with a digital twin. And this digital twin is not, okay, this is not just an image, it's not just a 3D model, but then it has the dynamics, it has the functionality, it has the data, it has the physics, so that it knows that when an object hits, so because of the physics and the dynamics which the digital twin has, it can say that what happens in the car. So that level of details can be possible with the help of simulations, predictions. And automation. As you know, if you want to go into oil and gas industry inside some specific location and do something, it needs expertise and it needs people. But then, for example, if you have built everything with IoTs and everything in a right way with the right infrastructure, then you can just sit remotely and you can do automations. Instead, even you can trigger the things. For example, there is a fire. There is an automation like the fire water sprinkles happen. But then there are things which are not directly automated, but indirectly automated through triggers. So that kind of trigger automations are remote remote working. Like you have the remote control. So your remote control is digital. So it's a two-way. You have a physical object, and then you have a digital twin. Digital twin can send data to your physical object, and also from physical object you can send data to your digital twin. And from your digital twin, which is this, you can also uh, can be a remote control kind of thing. And also you can do automations on top of it. So this will be really powerful, very interesting. Industries are really working hard. Every industry, you name it, all the industries have started working towards digital twins. Like construction, you have a building. Today what you do is you do a building monitoring system with the help of some CCTV cameras. But then now they are working towards creating digital twins like Burj Khalifa. So Burj Khalifa, they're trying to do a digital twin for Burj Khalifa for all the operations. And you think of an airport. So airport, they wanted to make a digital twin of the airport, so that they can do the maintenance. Airport has highest number of IoT devices, and with the help of IoT devices, we can get the information out of it. And then if you have smart devices within your infrastructure, that can also do something for you. And this is heading very fast. Even today, if you are going to purchase a small bulb or a smart plug or anything, that is coming with smart sensors, and also it is coming with integration with digital assistants, integration with Wi-Fi. Why? Because these devices, whenever they become smarter, then it becomes very easier to develop digital twins. The challenge right now is that you have legacy devices, and then bringing digital twins to the legacy buildings, legacy devices, legacy infrastructure is hard part. That's where people are suffering, and they're trying to do only proof of concepts and pilots. But then if you are trying to build something new, then now it is happening digital twin first approach, meaning that even if it is before built or design or anything, they are thinking about, okay, now I create a digital twin first before even it is constructed or even it is thought about, and then start doing from there, like what kind of devices I need, what kind of IoT I need, what kind of smartness I need, what kind of construction I need to do, so that the whole part of the construction or the whole part of the maintenance and operations becomes really, really helpful. This is very key element to understand without understanding digital twins, because in future, every living and non-living things will have digital twins. Like I will have a digital twin which will be governed by the government, which will be governed by the insurance authority, which will be governed by the health insurance, healthcare sector. For example, I have a smartwatch like Apple smartwatch, and I paid money to insurance company, and then they are getting the data of my digital twin through my smartwatch. Now, if I have a heart attack, then smartwatch detects it, and then it sends to the insurance agents, and also it sends to the healthcare to get the ambulance. So that is the level of digital twins. It's not just for the humans; it's for the living, non-living things, assets. Everything is going to have a digital twins, and there is a lot of governance that is going to happen for this digital twins. Like government authorities will be owning some of it, and you have your own property, and then you will own your digital twins. All those things is going to happen. Now, knowing all those things, let's go and enter into the metaverse. So what is a metaverse? Now a lot of, if you see, after Microsoft has started talking about metaverse, the Google search of metaverse has been jumped by thousands of times. So the metaverse is basically today, because of the pandemic, people are not able to meet each other. So what they are trying to do is they are trying to meet virtually. If you see earlier, before no phones, people used to travel. Can everyone turn off their videos and also audio? Can you guys mute yourself and turn on your videos? Turn off your videos. Okay. So earlier, what happened is, before communication, let's see the different stages. Before you have mobile phones, landlines, people used to travel or write letters. So the first generation is you started traveling, meeting people physically. The second generation is that you have writing letters and then pass it through humans or through some kind of animals. And then the next phase is you have started getting the landlines or a wired network where you can talk to people. And then the next generation is you have moved towards smartphones, and then you are talking on phone with wireless devices. And then the next generation is internet generation, where you are using your emails, you are using your messengers, you are using your video calls. So now the current generation is that you have a lot of social media tools for people. Like you in office, you have enterprise level system like Teams and Skype to use it, and for personal, you are using WhatsApp and everything. Now, what's next? What's next? Where are we moving towards? That is the metaverse. So in the metaverse, what you are going to get is a virtual, completely computer aided imaginary or the physical replicating environment is made. And then there you can go and you can collaborate with the people, like how you do in the real life. You are going to mimic or simulate everything with the help of this augmented reality, virtual reality, digital twins. You are going to create an computer generated virtual reality space, and then you can interact with it. You can also bring people in it. So it's all about collaboration of people, places, things. People, places, and things. So you have avatars or holograms of the people, and you have a virtual environment, and you bring the people or you meet the people in that virtual place, and also you can have the things, like you bring the digital twins of it. So now what is the difference between digital twin and metaverse? Basically, digital twin is an physical digital clone of a physical asset which has functionality. But then if you are bringing all those digital twins into a environment, then that is called metaverse. Actually, metaverse can have imaginary things. A metaverse can have the living things like the real world. So now let's think that the planet itself is rebuilt in metaverse. So the whole planet is rebuilt in metaverse, meaning that you have created everything in the earth as a virtual environment. Then you have your home, you have your lands, you have everything, and then you pair a device and you enter into that digital world. And then you can interact with people, you can do everything which you are doing today in a digital way. So that is called metaverse. So there are multiple metaverses that are being built. Is it owned by anyone? No, today no one owns metaverse because it's like an app. Like anyone can create metaverse, anyone can create a game, anyone can create that virtual environment, and then they can call it as a metaverse and then ask people to join that metaverse. So it's like, for example, Facebook is building their own metaverse. Why metaverse has gained so much traction? Metaverse is a keyword which is more than 10 years old. But why that has gained so much of recent popularity is Facebook has renamed its company as Meta. So, and then it has started funding or investing millions of dollars in metaverse, in creation of the metaverse. Now think, why is Facebook doing this? So when you think of Facebook, it's almost kind of they have did everything which they can do on social media, getting Instagram, getting WhatsApp, getting Facebook, and people are to a point that, okay, I'm done. What's next? So now what's next is Facebook is trying to build a virtual environment of everything. So, and then they will create the platform. So basically they are going to create the platform and then they'll give the platform to the developers. So developers are going to build, for example, think you are going to create a city center in this virtual world. And that city center will have Nike, Adidas, and Walmart or DMart or any kind of stores. So now the people from all the companies, developers are going to build their own stores in this metaverse. So the platform is created by Facebook, but the platform being used by the companies to build their own business in the metaverse. And then the people, whoever is already existing in Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, they are going to go into this platform. So basically you wanted to purchase some shoes in Nike. Today, what you are going to do is you go to the store or you go to Amazon and then you see it, you'll get it to the home or you will go to the shop and purchase it. Because of the pandemic, you are doing only the Amazon thing. And then if it fits, then you are okay. If not, you are returning the product. But the real experience, so sometimes some people are calling it as experience. Metaverse is an experience, not a technology, it's an experience. Now metaverse is a platform that it is being created like an operating system where people can go in there and then you walk in with a special kind of device wearing like Oculus, and then you go to a Nike showroom, you'll go to a shopping mall and you are going to a Nike showroom, and then you are going to see the whole shop, Nike shop, and you are going to ask, hey, I need number 9 shoe. So there is an agent guy, you're collaborating with him. There's an agent guy who is saying that, hey, okay, I'm getting 9 shoe. This is the latest version, and you try it. And then actually you can try it because your avatar is being there. So your avatar is already in metaverse. You will be creating your avatar either which will be identical to you or which may not be identical. And then you are going to take that and then wear the shoe on your avatar. And then say that, okay, it is fitting, it is looking good. Now you wanted to bring others and say, hey, is it good or bad? So you're going to bring your family members or your friends and then ask them, hey, can you please join? So they will join through their device and come to the same metaverse and to the same store. And then they'll see that, okay, this is looking good, this is looking bad. And if you select it and you are going to make the purchase, and the purchase also going to happen in metaverse, the transaction happens, and then the shoes directly comes to your shop. That is actual physical purchase. But there are also virtual purchases which you can do in metaverse, like you own a home in metaverse. Meaning that you own a home in virtual land and you wanted to purchase some furniture for your virtual house. So you are going to purchase some virtual furniture as well. So it is going to be kind of a real home, real this stuff, but in a virtual way. That is going to happen. So that is the next stage of where we are. So where we are right now, we are at video calls. We are at making audio calls. We are at making this messengers, using these stuff. But the next thing is collaborating and then bringing this people, places, and things in a virtual environment. So Google is working on their metaverse. Microsoft is working on their metaverse. Facebook is working on metaverse. Now think of a company environment. So company environment is that already Microsoft has planned a metaverse for their teams. So today, because of the pandemic and extending pandemic due to Omicron and Delmicron and other stuff. So what is happening is that offices are not being opened. So what Microsoft is doing, Microsoft is bringing an app called Microsoft Mesh, which is a metaverse. And then what you can do is you can go into your metaverse on Office and you can do your stand-up calls, you can do everything. And also interesting thing is offices, big company offices, they are building their office digital twins in metaverse. So what does this mean? So you have your office, you have your desk, and then you wear a device and you go to the office headquarters or you go to your office, and then you can collaborate or interact with your colleagues. You can play table tennis, or you can talk to them, or you can attend to a meeting, or you can attend to a training. So that employee engagement part is being developed in metaverse. That's very, very soon coming. Every organization is going to see this. So meetings are going to happen in metaverse with the help of Microsoft. That's the big thing. Now let's see a small video. All the videos are less than 2 minutes. So that's the reason I bought those videos to get more information. So this is building digital twins metaverses.
Imagine our world today. People, vehicles, businesses, buildings, hospitals, factories, entire cities, and the billions of devices that connect us to this world and to each other. This is the physical world. But what if we can replicate that physical world into its digital twin? A digital twin that is bound to the physical world in real time, that we can experience in mixed reality, that we can collaborate with, that we can run simulations on and find what is important to us, that we can apply AI to learn, predict, and act, to save time and money, to reduce carbon, to preserve natural resources, to improve safety, to bring us all closer. This is already happening today. Across the world, organizations are taking advantage of this new wave of innovation that trends to an interconnectedness that enables the metaverse. Everything modeled in the metaverse mirrors the status of its physical twin, including the interactions and relations between everything else. By applying the power of the cloud, we eliminate boundaries of what this can do. The potential is limitless. We can now track and analyze data from connected environments to identify patterns, trends, and anomalies. We can now simulate any possibility, evaluate outcomes, determine the impact of any change or condition. We can now harness AI to perceive the physical world, to improve and automate tasks, to give superpowers to your frontline workers. We can now give everyone in your organization the power to build apps and workflows, to collaborate with each other in this virtual space, to share and receive expertise at the right time with the right context in front of you, to move through the physical world and get relevant information about its digital counterpart when and where you need, using mixed reality. The Microsoft Cloud brings these capabilities together with the limitless computing power of the cloud and intelligent devices at the edge, and creates this framework for building immersive and impactful digital twin, mixed reality, and metaverse solutions.
So now, what is a market cap? Is it real or something, just a bubble or something like that? So believe me or not, it's going to be a $1 billion, sorry, 1 trillion in the next 10 decades. So 1 trillion economy or 1 trillion market size is there for metaverse. So the opportunities for the next 10 years in metaverse is huge, because every industry is going to do something in metaverse. Every industry is going to build something in digital twins. And which are the companies right now moving their hands and legs are these things which you are seeing. So a lot of companies like Autodesk, and for the platforms like Unity, Unreal Engine, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook. Facebook is investing huge because they are the social media where they have a huge presence of audience, and then they wanted to create the platform first so people and also the companies can use it. And Apple surprisingly working something in the background, and they are saying that at the end of 2022 they're going to release some augmented virtual reality device which is going to revolutionize like the iPhone. So Apple is working on its own platform. Apple will be creating the platform as well as they're creating the device. So these devices at this point are huge, but then the prices and the lightweight versions of these devices are coming soon. And every other gaming company is obviously doing well, and they wanted to build something in the metaverse. Now let's see industry use cases. So retail, actually, when I saw how this metaverse can be used in each industry, then I realized that every industry has a use case. There's no industry where you can say that we don't have a use case. Because if you have employees in your industry, then obviously you're going to build a metaverse. So enterprise employee engagement is one area where is the biggest use case for any industry. And then retail, let's think, I wrote an article where I have mentioned about Walmart store. So, you know, the people who work or who were in Western countries, Walmart is one of the biggest superstore. And then you can find almost everything for reasonable prices. So now, even if you are doing shopping in Walmart, then what happens is, I mean, on the app, it's an app. It's never 3D, it's just 2D, and then you don't know whether it looks good or it has everything. So now Walmart can create their store, superstore in metaverse, like we have discussed in Nike showroom. So they will create their metaverse app, and then people can go in, walk in directly with their friends and family, and they can do the same experience shopping like they do in physical world. And then fashion, interestingly, the fashion world is getting into metaverse. I think the world's highest fashion show has already been organized or being organized in metaverse. And then, interestingly, there are some weddings also happening. The destination wedding today, it's funny thing is that destination wedding is happening in metaverse. Like people, they are not able to travel because of the restrictions. So the weddings and the functions and everything, even the family events are happening in metaverse. People will be joining from different places by wearing these devices and have a chit chat and meet. So there is a wedding designer or wedding planner in metaverse. So there are companies starting doing that as well. And social media, obviously Facebook and other platforms like Twitter and everyone, they're trying their best to create a metaverse platform so that people can interact in the next level. Construction industry, all the digital twins, either it's buildings, either it's roads, either it's rail, everything they wanted digital twin, and they wanted to visualize that in a metaverse. So metaverse, basically it's a platform. It's a platform of people, places, things in virtual world. And digital twin means you are bringing some real time physical object into the digital world in the metaverse. And gaming is already ahead in metaverse. So every game actually has their virtual environment. So far we were playing only the 2D games, but then when you go and enter into metaverse, it will be like you are actually playing the game. And then the real estate, this is very, very interesting. You know, the first industry which is making so much of money in metaverse is real estate. People started purchasing lands. People started purchasing virtual assets in metaverse. So one person recently, one gaming industry person has purchased a 4.8 million land in metaverse, meaning that they purchased a piece of land in metaverse. That's an interesting area as well, because people started selling and purchasing lands in metaverse. How it is, I'll give an example after this. And sports and events like musical concerts or community events or anything, those events and some sports related stuff, even the Indian cricket team or cricket association is starting their own metaverse related activities, because they see that future cricket or future sports are going to happen in metaverse. Like you wanted to attend a cricket match, so today you have to go to that location and attend it. But whereas if you wear a metaverse device, it's as if you are already sitting in the ground. You can view it from any angle, the real match. So that is the potential. So sports people have already started looking into metaverses. And events, any kind of event now, like Justin Bieber and Snoop Dogg, sorry to bring up those names, but then these people have already started getting things into these events. But those events, including the house events like weddings, engagements, birthday parties, are started doing in metaverse. So where to start? Where to start? You have to keep an eye on what is happening. You have to explore things. You have to see that, okay.
Classico.
Can you please go on mute? Nabil, can you please go on mute? So you need to explore and then have a look at what is happening in metaverse, and you need to, for example, you have some good amount of money already. You have to invest in something in metaverse, because it's like a domain name. It's like any other asset. You can, if you invest in the right time at the right amount, it's like also cryptocurrency. If you invest in the right time, then you are going to get a lot of returns on top of it. And if you are a developer, you can definitely develop something in metaverse, and then you can be the first to develop things, and you will have a great future, because this is going to be next 10 years, 20 years. Like if you have developed something for internet, a web page, or if you have developed something for apps 20 years back, then you would be the leader. So now is the time for you to be leader for metaverse, because you can start developing right now. And business people, if you are a business leader, there is a huge scope for doing things or gaining your business in metaverses. The pandemic is not ending, unfortunately. Inshallah, we hope it ends soon. But then because of the different variants, it keeps pushing further. And people have started looking into the digital ways or digital means of doing things. And that's where the push for metaverse has begun very much. So now is the right time for all the companies to invest in growing their business in metaverses and see what are the opportunities available there. And gamify your experiences. Every other experience today which we have, we can bring it in metaverse and then make it like a gamify and collaborate with people. So if you are developer, if you want to develop, what you need to do is you need to look into Unity or Unreal Engine, and then because this is where you can create this metaverse or the actual platform. And then if you want to develop something for actually a metaverse, then you need to have gaming experience, you need to have the designer experience, or you need to have a group of people with these technologies, cloud API developer, AR/VR developer, understanding of digital twins, blockchain. So another important thing about blockchain or cryptocurrency. So today, if you are going to purchase anything in our country, India, then you obviously bring rupees. And if you are going to US and if you are going to purchase something, you are bringing USD. But in metaverse, that's another interesting thing is because you are in metaverse, you don't want to pay in rupees or this or that. So cryptocurrency is being used. And that is another huge thing because the boost for cryptocurrency needs some place. So so far cryptocurrency is being only purchased online and then sold, and that has become like a shares. But then how is it, or even purchasing the digital assets? But then metaverse actually gives a real place for cryptocurrency, so that they go with cryptocurrency and they will purchase things with cryptocurrency. So there is no one currency block there. So there will be digital currency, which is a cryptocurrency, and you will use cryptocurrency to purchase things in this metaverse. And in fact, all the virtual assets today are being transactioned with the help of cryptocurrency. Do we have only 1 hour or 1.5 hours?
Yeah, we can take more time. Sure.
Okay. No. Right. So I'm going to showcase some examples. So let me. So Dubai 2. What is Dubai 2? Let me showcase you some of the things which are happening in cryptocurrency. Sorry, in metaverse. So there is a venture that is happening where they wanted to construct the whole of Dubai in virtual reality, whole of Dubai as a metaverse. And what does this mean to you? What does this mean to real estate? So for they have already selling the lands and also spaces. For example, Burj Khalifa. In realistic, if you want to purchase in Burj Khalifa, you can't. It's very expensive and you can only rent, or it's not possible. Now they have created something in virtual reality and in metaverse, and then they started selling. So they have created the whole of Dubai. They are creating, and they have not created, they are creating whole of Dubai in virtual reality. And they have started selling Burj Khalifa spaces. And then Palm Island, Palm Jumeirah. So here you are aware of this island spaces. These are very expensive and very luxurious spaces. Today they have started selling it in metaverse. If you see here, raised hand, give me a few minutes, then I'll ask you to get unmuted. So now if you see, so for example, I wanted to purchase a space here in Palm Jumeirah. So then this is 1.9 Ethereum, which is 1 Ethereum is very expensive now, $4,000. So it's almost $8,000. For $8,000, you can own this, not in real, but in metaverse. But is this happening real? And what is doing? People are doing, actually, these are being purchased and sold very actively like real estate. You can open anything. OpenSea is a place where actually people can go and see that what is available in market to for digital assets, especially for metaverses. OpenSea is a place where you can purchase or buy things. Like this, the whole earth is being created in metaverse, and the places are being sold and purchased and all those things. So Burj Khalifa, for example, I wanted a flat in Burj Khalifa. This is saying this is level 32 and 3207. So they are selling this thing, and they'll create this in a virtual reality, and then you can own this. So once you own this, you can be like, this is my home. From 32 level, you can see Dubai, but everything is in metaverse, not real. Everything in virtual. So this is how they're also selling, and the prices are being increased every day. Purchasing. So this is one example for real estate. So this is very actively happening. And if you ask me what is the suggestion, do I need to buy or not? If you are having millions of dollars and you don't care, like small thousands of dollars, then it's worth it because the returns will be really, really high. But if we are like coming from, no, I can't afford, we should never do it because this is highly volatile. It can go upside down. Suddenly, if the pandemic ends, now till the next 10-15 years, no one is going to talk. But if the pandemic keeps extending, yeah, these are going to be very expensive. Yeah, are there any questions now to the participants? I see a lot of questions or comments.
Yeah, we do have questions.
Hello. Hi, Shinshabhai. I have a question. The first regarding this real estate. You said, right, we can buy a virtual space, but anyone can develop this, right? And who would be the actual owner of that, the virtual thing? To whom to have to pay? No, who would be the actual owner? Say, if a company develops a virtual Dubai, the same clone we can have it as second, like software, like copyright.
Right. So there are scenarios where even governments are involved. Like you can develop Taj Mahal, and Taj Mahal you can sell it as a doll, or you can sell it as a virtual space, or you can sell it as a digital asset. But then there are limitations and there are regulations that are being built up. At this point, if you ask anyone how, where, what, it is not clear. But then there are regulations that are coming up. Today, you can make Taj Mahal and you can sell it. There is no restriction in India. But then you cannot make Eiffel Tower and sell it because Eiffel Tower has its own copyright from Paris. And then they won't let you do that. You can sell it. You can sell it in black market. That's another area. But yeah, there are no strong, strict regulations or guidelines today. Anyone can develop and sell it. Keep it simple that way. But the governance are being made for metaverses.
I think it's like copyrighted software. It will become like a copyrighted software. Right? If a company develops a metaverse, the same we might get as a copyright, like in the black market, another software, similar things, right?
Exactly. The same thing. But then because this is related to the real world and people are involved, like if someone makes my house and sells it, I can't shift quite because that is being sold. So that's the reason governments and private agencies and everything will come in picture. But that's the way long. It's just started.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Alhamdulillah, it was very nice, very, very, very impressive. Okay. Yeah, but I feel there is something missing here. Sorry, I didn't get your name. Sorry.
You can call me Shah.
Shah. Okay, Shah. I mean, basically, you have generated a lot of interest and you have generated a lot of this passion in this. But what is the roadmap? You have any plan, or I mean, basically, you want to help the community, or you want to have a plan for this, guys? I mean, basically, if anyone is interested to learn this, okay, what is the approach? How do we need to go about this? Okay. I mean, there may be something on the online, but what is your suggestion? So,
Right.
I mean, do you want to contribute? Because I think you have experience in this. Do you want to start up something like that, or do you want to contribute? Because MFRID, okay, doing a lot of things. Alhamdulillah, it is very helpful and very fruitful for the people. But I mean, this is some approach. What is missing?
Okay. Abrar Bhai or Star Bhai, can you please stop recording so that I can answer personally things? Can someone stop?
Yeah, brother, that was a wonderful presentation. Actually, my question is like, industry is moving very fast. They're adopting all the technologies. Do we really need this kind of technologies for us? First question, because one of my concern is like some of the few tycoons are indulge in this kind of concepts so that your creativity skills, the analytical skills to come in at zero level or level one, and what we are going to get an output, because what we actually require is what we are going to learn from. One thing we learn that some technology will help us, but what extent this type of technology will be helping us? This is my concern. And there is a no governing principles from any government for when you talk about cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, like there's a Axie Infinity game in Philippines, that's the most popular game. Even there is no authorities, government authorities are tracking the functionalities or the trades between this type of transactions. How do you feel, brother? How do you rate this?
Maybe we can stop the recording for now. It's not needed. We are done with the session. Mr. Arvind.